So Ragnarok chapter 93 is upon us and the hype is real. Finally, we have confirmation on one of the biggest question marks within this entire round. Does Okita actually have a Valkyrie or not? The answer is actually yes. There was a ton of discourse last month about him potentially not having a Valkyrie after seeing the reveal of Onigo, the demon that resides within him, and it being made into a completely separate entity that took positioning very similar to the Valkyrie's position in a lot of the rounds, side-by-side panels, and having various conversations with Okita. Apparently, he has both Onigo and this Valkyrie, Skalmood. We don't know what her ability is just yet, but it's great to see that it is finally confirmed that she exists and is around. I still ask the question, where has she been all this time? But I guess the author was waiting to get to this point. Probably has something to do with her abilities he didn't want to reveal yet. And we got this epic panel of Okita in the air with a giant bird behind him, so I don't know if that's going to be tied in her ability or what the deal is with this, but it looks insanely hype. With that said, I think that this is a good decision. I think that it's much better that he does have a Valkyrie in the end, as opposed to the author going a different route and just giving him the demon. Reasoning is, I think it would have been a slippery slope to set a precedent like this where one of the characters doesn't in fact have a Valkyrie. This simplifies everything. Keep every fighter that's going to fight locked in with the Valkyrie. I think that this makes more sense, and I'm happy in the end. As far as the chapter goes, there's rumblings now that we are getting a double chapter. I know we've talked about this before, but the sources this time are much more credible. This is the main translator for the chapters, and this is actually Ragnarok Scanlations, who have the full leaks. So they're saying that it's a beautiful double chapter with a ton of pages, not confirmed on the number count. The translator saying it's almost 100 between both, but I don't know if that's going to be accurate or not. If so, we got a lot of work cut out for us for the videos coming soon. And the fight does not end. So this is going to be probably surpassing even Jack the Ripper and Hercules as the longest fight in the series, which could be great because, I mean, I was hoping for a long round. I predicted early on when this fight first started, it was going to be one of the longest rounds given it had a custom stage that ties to Japanese culture and the fact that the author really loves Okita. I thought that he was going to do justice to this fight. I just want to see how they keep up in the ante because it's felt like we've been in the climax of the fight for a while now. But with the panel like I showed earlier of Okita with this giant eagle, the stakes definitely seem to be raised, and it's not just on Okita's side. We also got a brand new ability for Susanoo revealed to us where he is actually wielding an invisible sword at this point. I don't know if he turned the sword that he's already wielding invisible or if it's a situation like Musashi from Baki where there's times where he doesn't even need a sword and he has so much proficiency and skill with the blade that he can just swing his arms gripping an imaginary sword, so to speak, and it'll still cut just like a katana. So maybe that's the case. That would only be possible, I feel like, if Okita had somehow destroyed Susanoo's divine weapon, but who knows? Maybe the sword just has an ability where it goes invisible. Maybe he's moving it so fast or something. The sky's the limit for what this could be, but the aura around Susanoo looks sinister and he looks like he's extremely confident in what's to come. What I did notice is in that panel where Okita is looking like a bird, he has once again jumped into the inescapable sky. So he hasn't learned from that mistake, or maybe he's using this as an advantage to bait Susanoo back into a false sense of confidence because he's been caught in the air and had serious ramifications. So to go right back to that well should have some kind of payoff. With that said, we see Okita's reaction to the invisible sword, and he is definitely taken aback. And the leakers are implying that Okita is in trouble within these chapters. But as long as it doesn't end, he's obviously never out of the fight. It's also speculated that this Valkyrie right here is the one that's shown. It does look like her, so it probably is. This is obviously coming from the silhouette of all the Valkyrie sisters we got early in the series. And we got this magazine cover of Jack the Ripper and his spinoff that is taking place as well. And speaking of spinoffs, Apocalypse of the Gods, we also have a chapter of that this month that is going to bring a lot of hype for the Irish fan base that has been waiting on the reveal of Cuchulain's divine weapon, Gay Bolg. According to this guy, the weapon has finally been unleashed. So that's all we have to go on for that series right now, but of course I'll be covering that as well. Ragnarok Scanlation also says that Okita is finally realizing his full potential and exceeds the limits of the word human. So we got a ton of hype to be ready for. I wanted to bring you guys this information first since there was a lot of pressing info. Of course, there's going to be a ton more information, especially if the page count reaches the numbers that they're touting right now. But as always, take some of the statements with a grain of salt. We will see. I'll be covering it no matter what. Make sure you're subscribed for all that. Drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.